What's up, Poke Battlers? I got a battle with some guy named Shibby, which you see right there. And I met him on zat.com/AX. You should really check it out. There are lots of people who won Pokemon battles there. And it's a very nice place to be in. So, I lead off with my Kukroc. I'm just gonna call it that. And he leads off with his Donphan. And predicting the Stealth Rocks, I go into my Lilligant. And yeah, I predict nicely, so now he predicts the Sleep Powder. And he goes into his Muck because I guess he doesn't value it as much. Like, it'll be okay sleeping. Like, he doesn't want anything else to sleep. So now I switch out and I go into my Hydreigon, predicting him to switch. And I go into my Hydreigon because it's an expert belt, and with 4 moves it's got great coverage. So he goes into his 8. So I get the better end of the switch. So he doesn't like this matchup, and he goes into his Latios. And he made me go for the Earth Power because I didn't want to overpredict too early in the game. So yeah, he makes a nice play, goes into his Latios, and Earth Power does nothing. But I guess he didn't think that I was Expert Belt, so he stayed in. And I believe this Latios has like 0 EVs in speed, so I do outspeed it actually, which is very not very common. So he goes back into his Ape, which he should have stayed in earlier, but oh well. And predicting him to go for the Mach Punch or Close Combat, I go into my Milotic, but he's actually a special attacker. So my Milotic doesn't take it as well as I thought it would because it's more physically defensive, but he goes for another Focus Blast, misses, which is, it really didn't matter in the long run because I just go for the Surf, and you'll see in the next matchup that it really didn't matter if he hit me or not. So you'll just have to wait and see the results. So now he goes into his Slowbro, and I leave my Milotic in to fodder because I'm just scouting what kind of Slowbro this is. So I just go with the Surf because it's stab and all. So he goes with the Grass Knot, which is very uncommon, but this shows me that he's more offensive instead of defensive. So I go into my main Xiao, and I just want to get any damage I can on this Slowbro. So I go with the Fake Out, which is very obvious as he goes into his Dusknoir to take it. And this Dusknoir's gonna be a pain, so I'm just gonna taunt it so it doesn't do anything fishy, I guess. So he goes with the Will-O-Wisp, which is a nice play on my part. So I just U-turn out of there, and predicting him to go for the Earthquake, I actually go into my Hydreigon, and he actually predicts that. And this is very unfortunate because I take rocks damage, and then he goes to the Ice Punch. So I have to say that was a very nice prediction on his part. But yeah, I'm down to 80, so I'm just like, okay, I want to get any damage I can on this Dusknoir. So I go for the Crunch. Being Expert Belt, it doesn't kill. I'm like, gah, I want this thing dead already. Excuse me. And he just finishes me off with an Ice Punch. But he lives with like a nub of HP. You could barely even see that after, like, before leftovers. But now his taunt wears off, which really doesn't matter. So I go into my Blaziken, and he's actually packing the Shadow Sneak. So this is probably more of the offensive Dusknoir than defensive. Like, it probably doesn't have Pain Split. But I go for the Hidden Power Ice, I believe. Any Hidden Power was alright, as long as it did neutral. And I just get the speed boost. And here was a very, very bad play I made here because I go for the Vacuum Wave. If the Hidden Power was Ice, I would have did more. But yeah, very, very bad play on my part. So he goes with the Earthquake, does take me out because it's stab, I believe. and it's probably more physically, like more offensive than defensive. So he's actually packing the Shell Bell, which don't see very often. But predicting him to go into Muck, I go for the Butterfly Dance, and he does go into Muck, and yeah, I go for the Butterfly Dance. It's called Butterfly Dance, not Quiver Dance in this, because this was the old one back in January, I believe. But I go for the another Butterfly Dance just to see how much +2 Hidden Power Fire will do to this Muck. And he doesn't wake up this turn, which is nice, but it really didn't matter in the long run, because I go for the Hidden Power Fire, and it does about a little under half. Yeah, a little under half. So he goes with Explosion, so that wake up earlier did not matter. And it was just like, I just got a free attack to see, I guess. It really didn't matter, but he gets a crit, and I believe that crit did not matter, so just Salt in the Wound. Didn't matter. So I go into my Kukroc, and he goes into a Slowbro. So I believe I got the better end of the double down, but he surprisingly doesn't switch, and that's a very nice play on his part, because I go for the Crunch, and he lives with another Nub. That is like 1 HP literally. And that was very enraging, I guess. And he does take me out with a Surf, which is very unfortunate on my part, because he lives with like a nub of HP. And he doesn't have lefties, so I don't know what he has. And I believe this is his last, maybe not, because there's more in Sony Vegas. So I go for the Fake Out. I do take it out because it's left with a nub. Oh yes, he does have one more. So I believe this is his last one. So I just go with the High Jump Kick, and because it's Life Orb Stab, it will take it out, even though it may be very bulky in offense. But yeah, bye Poke Battlers. Have a nice day, you guys.